This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Friday, April the 9th. What a war. It's the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile, race number 9 at Keeneland. Let's throw up the field. Every year, this race is wide open, and take a look at the morning line odds. Raging Bull for Chad Brown off the layoff, a very tepid 7-2 morning line choice. Download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com and handicap along with us. Mike, you can make a case for 5 or 6 of them.
It is a really, really good race. That it just feels like there's a lot going on. I mean, a couple of horses who you feel like want to show speed in here. Of course, the morning line favorite, Raging Bull, wants to sit and make one run. I don't know if there's that one horse you can point to in here who is necessarily really broken through yet, but a bunch of them feel like they're on the verge.
You're absolutely right about the pace. Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector because we might have a little bit of a cat and mouse game between the 1, Get Smokin', who is a very fast horse, and the 3, Some Like It Hot Brown, who has also shown a lot of speed. Now, Get Smokin' sat second last time out. Some Like It Hot Brown just seems like a different horse when he gets to the lead. He seems to be a lot gamer when he makes the front, and I have a feeling they're going to really try to get the lead under Johnny V.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wonder what kind of tactics they'll employ because he has run well without making the lead before, Dan. But to me, I just feel like he's kind of the key to the race here. If they get really aggressive with him and put him on the front, he could be really, really hard to run down. He's run some fast races.
Multiple graded stakes winner Get Smokin' won his seasonal debut in this race at Tampa Bay, the Grade 3 Tampa Bay Stakes. The pace was fast. He conceded early. He took over turning into the stretch, and he just lasts. All in all, a game performance for an underrated horse who now must prove he's of the Grade 1 variety.
Agree. He ran well in here. This is a well-deserved victory for him, and he ran well within the context of the race. You know, holding on over eons and admission office, that doesn't quite measure up against this field, I wouldn't say, Dan. So he's going to have to do better than that. But he ran well last time. He's underrated. His race 2 back in the Hollywood Derby, I wasn't as thrilled with that performance. That race scares me a little bit about him, but it was a mile and an eighth. Maybe it's just a little too far.
Coming in from Southern California is the number 2, Hit the Road. And I think this Dan Blacker trainee is very, very good. He's won his last 4 races, and he has the tactical speed to tuck in behind the 2 aforementioned speeds and work out a good trip. Let's watch his coming out party in the Grade 1 Frank E. Kilroe Mile on March the 6th. He's sitting in behind horses, Mike. He's in a little bit tight, and now the hole opens up. He bursts through, and he outfinishes a good horse in Smooth Like Straight.
Yeah, that horse on the lead there that he's going to get past is no pushover. This is a quality win. Even though Hit the Road sat a perfect trip in here, Dan, this is a quality win for this horse. Being able to run down a nice horse like Smooth Like Straight. I thought his Thunder Road off the layoff was really good as well, keeping close to a solid pace and winning easily. I mean, if you take his form apart, he's lost twice on the grass. One of those was the Breeders' Cup, where he had post 13. He actually got, he ran well to be beaten just about 2 lengths in there. And he just got a crazy ride in the other race that he lost at DeMille as a 2-year-old.
Go back in the formulator charts and look at the fractions for the 1-mile races at Santa Anita the day Hit the Road won the Kilroe. That was a slow pace, and Hit the Road was still able to outfinish that horse on the lead. I think it was a very good performance. Some Like Hot Brown, the number 3, won the Bernard Baruch at Saratoga last year. He won the Jeff Ruby Stakes on synthetic as a 3-year-old. He was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf at 2. He's had a rock-solid career. Last time out in the Fort Lauderdale, Mike, 1.1 miles, just didn't make the lead in a fast-paced race, and he paid the price. But that was a good group. Largent came back after his win to run 2nd in the Pegasus Turf with a 99 buyer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that was a big closer's race too, Dan. Not only couldn't he make the lead, they just went too fast in front. I mean, the 2 horses on the lead in there were Holiday and Factor This. They were 2 of the favorites. They finished 7th and 8th in there. The pace just totally fell apart at the end. So this horse paid the price in there. I don't want to hold that race against him. And just overall last year, he just ran a bunch of good races. I know he was only 3 for 9. One of those wins against New York Breds in the Mohawk, but he just kept showing up in tough spots and running well.
He is one of the fastest horses in this race from a buyer's standpoint. He has 4 triple-digit buyer speed figures on his record. Combined, the rest of the field, I believe, has 6. Sacred Life has one of them, the number 4. He finished second in the 2019 Bernard Baruch on soft turf. We haven't seen him since Derby Day when he finished 4th in the Turf Classic. It was a race that produced Factor This, who came back to win with a 110 Beyer speed figure at Pimlico. Sacred Life doesn't have a ton of speed. He swung wide in the lane. I was very disappointed he didn't change leads.
Yeah, he didn't run a great race the last time we saw him in the Turf Classic. There was no real excuse for him in there as actually the favorite in the race. He just wasn't quite good enough. I don't know, Dan. He's the kind of horse who I feel like he's okay. I could kind of go either way on him. If he's going to be around that 4-1, I'm just going to be against him because he doesn't have that one race that I can point to and just say, you know what, he's a true grade 1 quality horse, and I want to take him.
The number 5 Durain sold for $4.8 million as a yearling. You heard that right. He has an absolutely wonderful pedigree. He was merely okay overseas. He's come to hand for Brad Cox. And last time out, he didn't beat a strong field at the fairgrounds, and he got the right pace setup. But Sean Bridgman took a very big risk in staying inside, turning for home when he could have gone around the mall. He could have gotten stopped. He got stopped for a second, but once Durain got through, he settled it quickly.
He did. He was a pretty impressive winner last time. To me, he's the real wild card of the race, Dan. His 2 starts over here are both good. They're not against horses like this, but they're both good. And he kind of got the same ride both times. Bridgman did it last time. Giroux did it first time over here. They just sort of buried him behind horses for some reason. In that first one, he had no choice but to try to come through on the inside. And while he was stopped, the winner opened up a big lead, and this horse just could not catch him. But he finished with a big run in that race. He finished with a big run last time. I mean, again, I think he's a real wild card in here. We'll see what kind of price he is.
Ryder Comet, the number 6, I think offers some price potential, Mike. He finished behind, hit the road in the Kilroe. But again, it was a race that just didn't seem to set up very well for him. I wish he just ran a little bit more. But that race came on the heels of a 4-race win streak and a big fig at Gulfstream 2 starts back. He gets out of the gate. He can sit a good trip.
Yeah, agreed. Last time he didn't have any real excuse in that race. He just felt like he wasn't good enough, even though he was, sort of 3 wide around the track in there. I just didn't seem like he was good enough. His win 2-back was fine. I know he got a big figure for it. When you're coming after Frostmorn on the lead, it's sort of a different deal than coming after these horses on the lead. But I still think this horse is good, Dan. He missed a lot of time, but before that layoff, as a 3-year-old, he looked like he was going to be a real good turf horse, and maybe he still can.
Flying Scotsman, the number 7, was a graded stakes winner as a 2-year-old. Fair to say he really hasn't panned out. He was on the lead in the Kilroe, and he gave way willingly. He could add to the pace in here. I don't think he's as fast as the 1 or the 3, but he could push them, and it could set things up for somebody else.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Lannery decides to do. I sort of felt like he couldn't make the lead in here. We'll see if they try to. Maybe they wanted it at all costs, and they'll get it. I don't know how that would necessarily work out for him. He's run a couple of fast races, though, Dan. Personally speaking, I think the best race he ever ran was that Woodchopper at Fairgrounds in December of 2019. He didn't have the lead that day. I thought he ran well in that spot. Maybe they'll try that again.
Raging Bull the 8 makes his first start since the Breeders' Cup Mile. And while that running line looks pretty lousy, I think he ran a little bit better than it looks. He just sort of was in and among horses on the backstretch all the way into the lane. And you just never got the feeling that he was really clear and could show his stuff. Would he have been a lot closer with a perfect trip? Probably not a lot closer, but I think he could have done better. There'll be pace, I think, for him in here, and he should give a good account despite the layoff.
Yeah, I mean, he usually does give a good account. He's a really good horse. He's just, one of those horses that I was sort of referencing in the open. I know he's a prior grade 1 winner, Dan. He's got a couple of them, in fact. To me, he's never really broken through. He's a horse who's always had potential, and he always runs well, but he just doesn't win that often. I guess that's his running style, playing into things quite a bit in there. I don't know. Even going back to the Shadwell last October when he ran here, Dan, he was second in there. I didn't think he ran that great.
Field Pass is a very underrated horse for Michael Maker, a multiple graded stakes winner. Let's watch his last start at Santa Anita in December, where he was beaten by Smooth Like Straight. He ran okay in here. You see him on the outside in the greenish blinkers, and he's sort of one-paced and going up and down, finishing 4th. Now, he's just a little bit slow on paper as he takes on a good field, but he's a likable sort.
Yeah, he is a likable horse. This race, in fact, is the top figure of his career, Dan, just missing 3rd in that grade 2. And this is a horse who did some good things last year, and that's the fastest race he ever run. Maybe he can take a step forward here. He's going to have to.
top pick time for the Maker's Mark Mile. Hit the roads where you're going. I think this horse has tremendous ability. I have to use him in any kind of multiple race wagers. We have the same top three in different order.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Hit the Road. I think he's going to get another good trip in here. I just think this horse is good. I was talking about horses not breaking through. Listen, maybe this horse actually did break through last time with the grade 1 win. If he wins here, that'll confirm it.
Curious to see how Durain runs because he's likely going to be a good price despite his connections. Raging Bull usually runs well fresh, and I think this race is going to set up for him. Don't want to take anything less, though, than the 7-2 on the morning line. 2856 for Mike, 8524 for me. What a race. The Friday race of the day, the grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile. Good luck.